Am I the asshole H for making my coworker cover my shift? I, 18F, had work today but I was coming down with the flu, so I sent a message to our work group chat asking if anyone would be able to cover my shift. By about an hour before my shift was scheduled to start, no one was available to cover me, so I just decided to go in anyway. About 10 minutes before I left the house I got a message from someone, let's call them Jay, saying they could cover. Jay is a trainee and also has a disability, which means that there needs to be 3 people working during their shifts rather than just the usual 2 so that someone can assist them if necessary. I let Jay know that I wouldn't require them to cover me anymore as it was quite last minute and it would just be easier for me to work my own shift instead. They didn't respond to this message, so I decided to privately message them. The previous message was sent to them in the work group chat. This message went through as having been read by them, so I thought it was all good. I get to work and I get a message from my boss saying that Jay had called them to let them know that they would be covering my shift. I was very confused because I had let them know twice that this would not be the case, and the person who is having their shift covered is always the one who confirms the shift change with the boss, and the person who is covering the shift. I explained to my boss that I was working my own shift today as it was last minute and that I had let Jay know. She said that he clearly didn't know as he had called her, and that I was, quote, stuffing him around by not communicating with him. So I called Jay and told them that they didn't need to cover my shift anymore, and he says that he has already pulled up to work. I explained to him that I am able to work, but if it is easier for him for me to go home and he covers for me, then that is okay with me as well. He says that he's happy to just head home and I can work, so I let my boss know. About 2 minutes into my actual shift my boss calls the work phone and starts ripping into me about, again, stuffing my colleague around, and not communicating properly. It is about 2 minutes straight of her telling me off, and she says that it is unprofessional to get other people to cover my shifts for me and that I am going to end up with no money if I don't work. I work 5 days a week. It was one shift I was getting covered because I have the flu, and that week I was one of probably 8 people who had to get shifts covered because everyone is getting sick. So both myself and Jay end up working the same shift because my boss doesn't want him having to drive home. I feel as though this was not a mistake on my behalf and it was actually a mistake on my colleague's behalf, that I quite clearly with him that I didn't need someone to cover for me, and it is actually his fault for not checking his phone. I feel as though he either told a different story to our boss that painted me in a bad light, or that she is shifting the blame to me as she doesn't want to blame him given he has a disability. This feels a little unfair to me as I really did try my best to sort out the situation, and now not only does my boss think I am in the wrong, but I am worried my coworkers are going to think I just an idiot or that I was purposely trying to make things difficult for Jay when in fact that was not the case. Am I the asshole? Like and follow for more.